Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions, worlds of TV, film, pop culture, news, sports, lifestyle, everything really. Depending on the guest, we talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. We're talking about a film called North Hollywood coming out on demand May 14th. We're speaking to two people we're going to see in this movie. We're talking to Ryder McLaughlin and Aramis Hudson. Ryder, Aramis, welcome to Popternative, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us. God, how long did it take you to learn that intro? Jesus Christ.
No, it's a lot of interviews. I've done over like 500 interviews, so you get used to doing it. So
wow, that is amazing. I would have fucked that up instantly.
Well, that's why I asked you both about the last name. I asked you both about your first and last name pronunciations, and then I was just like, okay, here we go. This is gonna be bad.
Right into it. Boom.
Gentlemen, I love the film. It's amazing. We'll start with you, Aramis. I mean, this is a film about skateboard culture. You both skateboard. How exciting is it for you to do a movie like this about skateboard culture, man?
I just we've been saying, I don't know if like other interviews came out of us saying it, but it's just like the first time they ever depicted skateboarding well in a movie, because they usually make them corny or make them just not realistic, like, you know what I'm saying? But this is like more of a, I wouldn't even, and that's why I even hate to call it a skateboard movie. It's just a movie, and the characters just skateboard.
Oh, absolutely. And Ryder, it's interesting because you're in mid-90s, and I find like mid-90s is a movie about kind of coming of age and skateboarding's involved, right? I feel like this one is really like about skateboarding. Do you know what I mean by that a little bit?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely more. It's more about the actual. This kid wants to go pro. Mid-90s is definitely more. To me, mid-90s is more of just like kind of like art film, and it is what it's good for what it is, and it is like a great story. But this story is, I mean, it's completely different in the way of it is like a skateboard movie that it is a human story, where it is like anybody can relate to this like kid who's having this issue with his family and his friends. But it definitely is like a skateboarding movie where he is trying to go pro, and there is like that kind of talk in the movie, and it's not just like implied that he's like, I'm a skater, and I'm like, that's kind of what, you know, the arc is of the movie. So
absolutely,
I think it's amazing.
No, absolutely. And I gotta say, like, I'm watching this film, and this film's also about friendship and growing and everything. And Ryder, I have to say, like, your character just drives me nuts throughout the whole film, because you know there's so much going on, and Adolf is just like there to support and everything. He's been there since the beginning and everything. And so, Aramis, how is that playing a character like that, where, you know, your character's really trying, like, you see it, like, he's selfish. You're trying, man.
you got so much like energy that you just made me think of something. So like usually like his character is literally my character in real life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I actually went through that with I'm not friends with a lot of my friends that I was friends with, because I started skating and like ventured off. And like from now that I think about it, it's like, that is fucking crazy. Like, what the heck? Like what? But yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know. I think that it's just crazy to just think that, like, wow, that you just really made me realize that happened to me. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
No problem. That's why I'm here to make the memories, guys. I'm here to make the memories.
Dang,
Ryder, I mean, you know, you hope people enjoy this film. You hope they kind of see the, you know, path that your character takes. But diving deep into it a little bit more, what are you hoping they get out of watching North Hollywood, man? Like, what are you hoping they grasp out of it? Like skateboard culture, the relationship, the growth. Like, what do you want them to get out of it?
It's kind of a tough question, because it is like, I don't know. I think mainly is it's kind of hard to balance, like, wanting to chase your dreams and balance your relationships. And there is, like, between me and Adolf, it's like that brotherly kind of dynamic where we don't necessarily do anything specifically that it's like there's a reason for me not to like you. It's just like that, like, push and pull of like, no, I want to be better than skating, and I want, but I know I'm gonna do, like, creating that dynamic. And I think it just has so many relatable stories throughout this movie and arcs that I mean, I'd hope people kind of get a glimpse into like skating, and maybe that'll, you know, people will start, I don't know, skate and think that's cool or whatever. But I just I think it just really shows, and for parents, and shows that like kids become their own person. They want to do their own thing, and sometimes that discussion's hard, and sometimes it does mean that you're gonna have to move out, or if you really want something that bad, it might take a toll or might burn a couple bridges. But
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're trying to pursue a dream like that.
Absolutely. Now I'm really excited to ask you both this question right now, because you know you both are part of skateboard culture, real life, and everything, and you both skate. Aramis, we'll start with you, and the movie kind of touches on this a little bit with the misconceptions and the stigmas attached to skateboarding. For you guys both who have been around skate parks and skateboarded, I want to know, what are some misconceptions about the skateboarders and skateboard culture that you could share? Like when people say, oh, like it's like that, right? You're like, no, it's the complete opposite. What is something you could share, man?
They think every single one of them smokes weed. I do not smoke weed. I cannot stand that. They think that we all hooligans and we don't know nothing and we did school. Like, no, I graduated. Like, we're not bums. Not all of us are bums. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the biggest misconception. Like, or like they think that we're not like articulating our words. Like, I don't know. They just think that we just run. Like, we just run.
You didn't have to think about that at all, eh, man? Like,
no, yeah, because but that's not how we are.
That was like the quickest, like, because I asked that misconception question a lot, because I'll interview like athletes and musicians, and sometimes they're like, oh, that's a good question. You're like, we don't smoke weed.
Like, not all of us smokes weed. Not like we don't not take showers and all.
So you stay off the weed, basically. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not. You can smoke weed if you want. I'm just saying, like, people would think that I just automatically do just these. Like, I don't take shots. Like, I'm hanging out at the skate park all day, get drunk all day with these people, and don't go home and ditch school. But I've never done that.
No, absolutely. Ryder, any misconceptions on your end that you could think of besides that?
I mean, kind of that. I guess just like the outcasty, like,
yeah.
Oh, you're just drinking a 40 at the park, kind of like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, dude, skating's in the Olympics.
Yeah,
it's like an Olympic sport. It's a real thing. It's not 2003 where it is like kind of like, whoa, like you skate and are kind of like edgy doing drugs kind of thing. It's like it's not that anymore. It's just full athletes.
Oh, for sure.
Skaters going to get their their chiropractor and getting their legs electric shocked and therapy. Like the hell, like
people
it's
go
a real
train.
sport.
Like we like people be like, oh yeah, we about to go skate. No, there's some people that go to train now, like literally. Like
well,
what?
Skateboard culture, like, I mean, I had some friends that skateboard back today, but like I owe the skateboard, like the Tony Hawk video games, like they're the reason, like all my favorite bands are from those soundtracks. So I owe a lot to the skateboard culture, man. Some of the best music were on those soundtracks.
Yes.
Yeah.
They showed me a lot of music, skate videos, all that.
Did you guys have a chance to go at one point before it folded? Did you guys have a chance to go to a Vans Warped Tour?
I went to a Warped Tour one time. I used to skate for a company that, I used to have like little street vendors and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like little clothing brands. I knew a guy that like owned this company a long time ago, and he brought us there. I was definitely out of my comfort zone. I ain't listen to rock music. I ain't do none of that. But just the environment, it was just like, oh, I went to
it evolved though at one point. Like it evolved from it being just skate punk bands and everything to like there was like Machine Gun Kelly and Katy Perry are playing Warped Tour. Like it was crazy at one point.
I have been to that before though. That's crazy.
That's awesome. We talked about the skateboard aspect of it. Let's talk about the acting a little bit. We'll start with you, Ryder. I mean, what were some takeaways and learning experiences for yourself on this film as an actor, man?
Being prepared, especially when you're doing it every day and you're the lead, kind of have to be prepared. So, not say I wasn't prepared. I think there was like one scene, maybe two, I was like, could not remember any lines from, and that like was so frustrating. But really just like watching Vince and watching all the people that we had come on that are experienced actors, and just kind of taking away little things that they're doing, or kind of talking about scenes or how they approach stuff, or kind of watching how they move. And that's kind of the main thing for me, because then when I watch the movie, I'm like, I don't like when I did that.
Yeah.
And then So it's like, it's always for me, it's just like learning and trying to like absorb that energy and take notes.
There's some people literally that like don't watch themselves like in movies. Like I'll do interviews and like before I go, I'll like ask them if they've watched it or not. And some people are like, yeah, of course I watched it. But I'm like, I can't assume that anytime because like one time I asked someone a question, Aramis, I was like, what did you think about this scene? Like, what was that like? And he's like, I don't know, like I haven't watched it, but I heard it's good. And I just kind of was like, okay.
That's kind of like me right now. Like I've watched it, but I watch it. I can't. It's hard for me to sit there and really like watch myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know the scenes because I've been there, but I ain't really just sat there and just been like,
Yeah.
So I definitely understand that. It's weird to see yourself on TV.
What were some
hard to,
learning
like, take
experiences for
yourself
you
out
as
of
an
it.
actor, though?
You said some weird experiences.
Learning experiences.
Oh, learning. Learning. I was about to say. I was gonna say, ain't nothing weird really happening. But learning experience, like how you said, being prepared, and really dedication, because like there is no, because it's like making a movie is such, it's so like time, like it's so time fashioned that like so that means once you get that schedule is not going to change. So if that's say you're gonna have to be there at 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't care if you want to stay up that night, you going to that set. Like I don't care. Oh, you wanted to drink that night, you were stressed. I don't care. You going to that set. And just that, like dedication and like time fashion. Because even if you mess up a scene too many times, you're costing the set money.
Oh,
So being prepared is like, you got to be prepared, like for sure.
oh, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I wanted to thank you for coming on Popternative to chat about North Hollywood. Really appreciate it, guys.
PD
No
Beats, man, I like you.
problem.
You're cool.
I appreciate that. So,
Most energy.
movies coming out May 14th. They're going to be able to get that on demand and watch it, which is exciting. Where can they follow you guys on social media, Ryder? Where can they keep up to date with everything?
It's Ryder McLaughlin on Instagram. Just I don't really post that much, but you can follow me, and maybe I will post.
You're on social media, but you're not on social media,
I'm
basically.
on social media, but I'm not really.
Aramis, what are you?
Say, my name is Aramis, the number 2, then Hood, HOOD. But I don't really post much either.
Amazing. Well, you're there. It's like me on
Unless you're
TikTok.
my
Like I have a
friends.
TikTok account to watch stuff, but like I don't
Yeah.
really do anything. But no, seriously, guys, I love the movie, and it was awesome to chat with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
This has been Popternative. Check out North Hollywood May 14th. Until next time, this is Aramis, Ryder, and PD Beats signing off.
PD Beats.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.